Hi, everybody. So, as you all know, in my book, I talk about how we should not be sacrificial animals, that you should support causes if they support your cause, but you should not be extracted from it. It should be mutual. And so, I'm going to talk about that in the context of veganism because I've been getting these arguments, which are just manipulation tactics. So, on the issue of animal liberation, I'm going to say mutual support or mutual indifference because they recognize that you are enslaved. At least for those who have been listening to me talk about it, they've listened to me read my book, make these arguments. So, based on the legal definition that I've given from Plessy versus Ferguson, we are enslaved. The state has deprived us of ownership of our or the disposal rights of our person, property, and services, right? We're forced into existence without our consent. We are prohibited from exiting, compelled to generate value for a system that does not recognize our enslavement and has no intention of emancipating us. We did not agree to the social contract. So we're basically trapped, and they know it. So they see your condition. They understand what it means to be held against your will, to have your body extracted from by a system you never consented to. When it comes to animals, they will talk about consent, autonomy, bodily integrity, the right to choose, right? These words emanate from their mouth so quickly when it comes to animals. But when it comes to you, a human, your suffering doesn't matter, right? Now, they'll claim that they care, but listen to what they focus on. Listen to their action. Pay attention to their action. They don't march for you. They don't lobby for you. They don't even acknowledge what's happening to you, right? They're going to gaslight you to say that you're here voluntarily. They're going to say you can just Toyota Corolla yourself. They're going to say, oh, well, if you don't like it, you can just suck it up or get over yourself, or you're narcissist for focusing on your own oppression. So they don't care about your oppression at all, right? Instead, they're going to come to you with their cause. Forget your own oppression. Focus on my cause. Focus on the animals. So they want your help. They want your participation, your compliance, your sacrifice. They want to tell you what to eat, how to live, what you should prioritize while you are still enslaved. While the master state is still prohibiting your right to exit. No one is fighting for your liberation. All they want to do is extract. They want to conscript you and their army for their liberation cause while completely disregarding yours. And you have no right to refuse it because they have deemed their cause to be superior to yours. Theirs is urgent. Yours is just bullshit. Now, what they will not admit, at least my philosophy offers solidarity, right? The deal is you support my cause, I support your cause. You support my right to opt out, you support my liberation, I support animal liberation. Sounds like a fair deal to me. It's transactional. But if you actually were honest about it, what I'm asked to give up is so much greater than what they're asked to give up because they're asking me to change my entire lifestyle, give up food, give up convenience. Only thing I'm asking is that they support my liberation. They won't even give me that. They won't even endorse Anti-natalism. Ask Vegan Gain to endorse it on his channel. I'll go vegan. If you endorse it on your channel, he refused. Yet they still expect me to support their cause. Why? Because they think this cause is bullshit. You should just get over it. Focus on the animals instead. So the ball's in their court. It has always been in their court. They're blocking the solidarity that they're demanding from me because they don't care about my liberation or your liberation. They want to extract. So my position is mutual support or mutual indifference. They chose indifference. They never cared about it in the first place. And then they have the audacity to turn around and call you selfish. Now, they claim to believe in democracy. They claim to be nonviolent. These are peaceful people, right? Yet they support statism. They support keeping you here against your will. Because as I've already said, no reasonable person wants to jump off a cliff. So unless you have a humane exit, you're trapped. They support the violence, by the way. They support the violence which would throw a medical professional in a cage for assisting you. And this is the very political institution that they support. If they truly believed in bodily autonomy and consent and the right of free individuals to make decisions about their own lives, they would already be on your side. I should not have to convince them, but they are not, which tells you everything about them and their fake concern about liberation. Now, they don't have any right to be against your liberation because they're not entitled to your existence in the first place. They're not entitled to have you here against your will. They're not entitled to enslave you to serve their causes. You did not consent to exist. Your parents chose to impose life on you without your consent. Your parents chose to enslave you into this system of extraction where you have to pay taxes, obey unjust laws, maintain a body against your will, which may or may not entail consuming animal products. And then the master state compounded this original battery by prohibiting your right to opt out. So the prohibition was never legitimate. It was always about extraction. It was always about keeping you productive, compliant, and unable to opt out. And they know this. Yet they still will not support your liberation. Instead, they want you to focus on your diet. They want to gaslight you. They want you to remain enslaved. They want you to exist without your consent, to be prohibited from exiting ad infinitum. They want you to be forced to generate value for the master state that does not care about your liberation, while also giving up your food. So, and on top of being a slave, now you're just going to be a slave who eats. I'm trying not to be too insulting. Let's be a little bit diplomatic. Unappetizing food. You're going to be a slave who eats unappetizing food. They want you to be a slave who eats tofu. And they believe that if you give up your food, well, I don't think they genuinely believe this, by the way. I think they're trying to manipulate you. They're trying to convince you that if you give up your food, somehow freedom will trickle up from the chicken up to you. So you liberate the chicken, and then somehow you're going to end up being free. How does that work? So if you sacrifice enough, eventually your sacrifice leads to liberation. They know good and damn well this is a lie. They know that animal liberation is not going to do anything to liberate you. They know that the chicken's oppression is a downstream problem, which is a byproduct of your enslavement. So if you free the chicken first without focusing on your own liberation, The consequence is the chicken will be free. In theory, I don't believe that their movement actually accomplishes what they think it accomplishes. But in theory, arguendo, the chicken will be free. You will still be enslaved. And they're perfectly okay with this. They are perfectly okay with it. They don't give a shit about your liberation. Because if we actually examine the logic of it, it falls apart. A liberated chicken has never repealed a single law. A liberated chicken has never litigated a case before the U.S. Supreme Court. It cannot lobby Congress. A liberated chicken cannot dissolve the master state's prohibition on your right to opt out. A liberated chicken cannot return the surplus value extracted from your labor. It cannot address a single structural condition of your enslavement. The chicken, once liberated, is simply a free chicken. You will remain enslaved. There is no trickle. There is no pathway from which the chicken gets free and then that somehow liberates you. And they know this. So you have to be liberated first. Until you own your life, you are no good to anyone. Not to yourself, not to the animals, not to any cause worth fighting for. A slave who eats tofu is still a slave. And no slave should be asked to prioritize giving up their food to make others feel comfortable while they remain enslaved. This is extraction. Moreover, human liberation is actually the most effective path to animal liberation. A free human being is a genuine moral agent capable of making genuine choices. A free human being who chooses to support animal liberation does so with full autonomy, full commitment, and full effectiveness. Conversely, a slave who is manipulated by guilt is not an advocate. They are a conscript. Free agents do the work. So if they actually cared about animals, they would want you to be free because your liberation makes animal liberation possible. So their refusal to support your liberation is not just unjust, it's not just extraction, it's actually self-defeating. They are sabotaging the very cause they claim to care about by being indifferent to your enslavement. Anti-natalism liberates both humans and animals simultaneously. Those who don't exist consume no animal products. They cause no crop deaths. They're not enslaved to the master state. There's no consumption, no enslavement, no extraction. Total liberation for both animals and humans. Instead, they want to enslave humans and then guilt trip them into giving up their natural and proper diet. Veganism, on the other hand, requires liberating animals while humans remain enslaved. It addresses consumption while leaving your involuntary existence unaddressed. It treats the symptom while the disease goes unabated. Anti-natalism addresses the core disease. On a pure consequentialist ground, the framework most animal liberation advocates use, anti-natalism is the superior strategy by every measurable metric. So if liberation is truly the goal, the choice is obvious. Support anti-natalism, support the right to opt out, support the life abolitionist framework that liberates everyone by addressing the root cause. Yet they refuse to support it. They actively oppose it. And I'm going to tell you why. They need you to exist. They need you to be compliant. They need you to feel guilty. A world in which people don't exist requires no vegan advocates. It does not require a social movement, a community identity, because it has no participants. But this is the end game for their okie doke, right? For their whole, I guess, will to exist. This is what did I say before? They basically want to struggle. Anybody who procreates wants to struggle, and this is their version of it. They're not the only ones, by the way. There's other groups who like to suffer in perpetuity and struggle and have this whole victim narrative. This is just the latest iteration of it, but I could list other groups who do the same thing. They want to struggle, they want to suffer. And so the conclusion is that none of these groups that want to suffer in perpetuity actually care about liberation. Now, they will claim that you're a moral agent. You're someone with capacity, responsibility, and obligation. You're someone who owes duties. You're someone who should know better, someone who needs to act. And so, under their framework, you're the moral agent, and the chicken is the moral patient. The chicken is someone who suffers, someone who deserves empathy, who requires protection. And you're just somebody who needs to get over it. You just need to shut the fuck up, accept your enslavement, and focus on the chicken who can do nothing to liberate you. You did not consent to exist, neither did the chicken. You cannot opt out. And you can look at this however you want to look at it, but animals, I mean, I know they don't choose to do it, but at the end of the day, they do have the quote unquote right to be euthanized. Cats and dogs, any animal that is in pain can be put out of its misery. As a human, you don't have that right. The master state extracts value from your forced continuation. You were placed into a system of enslavement without your agreement. So was the chicken. You suffer within the same system that the chicken suffers. But they will grant the chicken the status of a moral patient while denying you that same status. The reality is that you are a moral patient just like the damn chicken. And even if they say that you are a moral agent, because you're human, because you have the capacity for reasoning and ethical decision making, you did not choose it. You did not choose to be a human. You did not choose to have superior intellect. You did not choose to have cognitive capacity, which comes along with moral responsibilities. You were born into this condition with obligations attached to it that you never accepted. And now they're basically punishing you for being a human. For failing to meet your civilized human obligations, because by the way, these obligations only apply to civilized human beings, they don't apply to primitive. So if you were primitive, then you would have no duties imposed on you at all. You would just be confounded by your survival instincts, right? But because you're civilized, now you have to go against your biology and struggle on a diet and take B12 supplements and be miserable eating beans and rice for the rest of your life. You're already miserable, you're already enslaved, but now they're going to take away your food and force you to eat tofu. This is not a moral framework. This is, I almost want to call it tyranny, but I know that they can't literally force you to go vegan. But if you don't have self-esteem, if you don't have any capacity to see through the manipulation, then it probably will work. I think emotional manipulation can be just as powerful as physical domination, especially if you're doing it on children. The only reason that you're a moral patient in the first place is because you were enslaved to the master state. Because they brought you into hell, and many of these vegans will have 3 children, and they have no shame about it whatsoever, while they're wagging their finger about your dietary consumption, while they bred 3 children into hell, and they're pimping their children out, taking them to factory farms so they can post it on social media. They support statism, by the way, most of them. They support capitalism, by the way. And they're doing nothing to dismantle these systems. Yet they want to tell you how to exist, how to navigate within systems that they support. They participate in a very political system which enforces your enslavement. They vote, they pay taxes, they operate within a state that extracts from your involuntary existence. And then they turn around and demand that while you are enslaved, that you support their agenda. Now, the worst part about this is that they enslave their own children. Specifically because they want to liberate animals. Many of them have already said this. They were anti-natalists, and now they have become ex-anti-natalists because we need more humans to liberate the animals. So not only do the animals have negative rights, they have positive rights. Now you should be bred into hell to suffer and die because animals deserve palliative care. So your enslavement, your extraction does not matter. The animals are the only beings that matter. Never mind the fact that their children never consented to be used as a means to their ends. How is that any different from factory farming? How is a vegan who procreates any different from someone who participates in factory farming? You're basically using your body as a factory farm for human slaves. You're exploiting your own children, but because the definition of veganism says nothing about human exploitation, then you get to exploit humans and still call yourself vegan. So when you challenge them on procreation, suddenly the whole moral agent status disappears, right? They're not moral agents when it comes to procreation. Now they have all these excuses, all these appeals to nature. Oh, it's so natural. They're not moral agents when it comes to procreation. Now it's just what happens. It's just life. Just get over it. They want to make appeals to nature, appeal to instinct, appeals to biology. And so their choices are not subject to ethical scrutiny, but your diet somehow is. Now, they say that animals should not be treated as property, and they are correct. But property rights do not exist in the state of nature. Property rights only exist in a state of society under civilization. They are legal constructs created and defined by the master state. Without the state, without the police, the courts, the legal framework, there are no property rights. There is no enforceable claim over any living being. Factory farming does not exist in a vacuum. It exists because the master state grants corporations the legal right to own living things and extract value from them. Capitalism only exists because the master state protects property rights. So if they truly wanted to end the unethical treatment of animals, or at least the treatment of animals as property, they probably should focus on dismantling the very legal framework and institutions that make the animal enslavement possible. But in order to do that, they would actually have to confront the master state. They would actually have to challenge statism, the root cause of animal enslavement and human enslavement. But they don't want to do that. They don't want to actually fight institutions. They want to take the cowardly approach, right? They want to punch down. They want to punch down on slaves who are probably in a lower status than them, who are in a comparable position to the animals that they champion for. Actually, I'm not going to be insulting, but I don't see myself as being in a superior position to these animals. I do not. I do not. In fact, in many ways, I actually envy these animals. I think that they have the one right that I do not have. So it's just hard for me to say that I'm worse off or better off than these animals. Just like these animals, you are property of the master state. You actually, it's more demonstrable. You have a social security number and a birth certificate. You have a credit score. You have to pay taxes to the master state. You have to obey unjust laws. The chicken is enslaved to a private actor, a farmer, or a corporation. The chicken's enslaver is identifiable. You can boycott the farmer. You can legislate against the farm. You can physically liberate the chicken by removing it from its enslaver. However, your enslaver is the master state itself. The master state is not a private actor you can boycott. It has a monopoly on violence. It writes the laws, enforces the law, and adjudicates disputes about its own legitimacy. So when the master state is your captor, there is no higher authority to appeal to. The master state's prohibition on your right to exit is not a fence you can cut through. It is an institutional condition that goes wherever you go. You cannot escape it. You cannot be liberated the same way the chicken can be liberated. And yet, the vegan movement, which presents itself as being radical anti-establishment, as fighting the power on behalf of the powerless, does nothing to challenge the master state. Instead, they target other people, other slaves. So it's basically tyranny of the tofu slaves. Many of them have bred human beings into, or they conscripted their own children into enslavement to the master state. so that they can serve animals. Then they want to demand that you eat tofu for the rest of your life while doing nothing to support your liberation. They want to punch down because they're too cowardly to punch up. Now they will say two wrongs don't make a right. I may be wrong for breeding human beings into hell and enslave them to the master state, but your suffering does not justify the chicken suffering. First, you're not doing anything wrong. You're not harming animals by refusing to go vegan. Because they act like if you chose tofu over the chicken would actually be safe. It's not a 1-to-1 ratio. That's not how the math works. The chicken would actually still be slaughtered. They can say you're participating in the factory farming industry by funding it. No, I am not. As I just learned yesterday from Vegan Games, I'm technically a vegan because I consume a lost product, right? I consume animal products that are on clearance. So it does not generate revenue. They're actually selling it at a loss. So I'm not contributing to the slaughter of animals. As David Hume said, a human who ceases to exist does no harm. He only ceases to do good. So if the person does not exist, they didn't have to exist in the first place. Why would they assume that they have a duty to procreate, or that you're harming, like you're harming their movement because you don't want to exist? It's because they want to extract. So they're the ones who are committing the two wrongs. They're supporting the master state, which maintains your enslavement, and they're breeding more children into this slave system while punching down. So telling an enslaved person who is brought into existence without their consent, forced to continue existing, that they deserve to be oppressed because of what they eat, this is gaslighting. They did not initiate any of this harm. They did not choose to exist. They did not choose to be an omnivore. And they say this as if you change your diet, that would somehow make you less deserving of oppression, or it's going to what? Dismantle the master state or free you from wage slavery? Again, it's not going to do anything to liberate you. Whether you deserve it or not for not being vegan is not going to change anything. If you went vegan, you would still be enslaved. You would just be a slave who eats tofu. Now, what are they doing? They will talk about how selfish you are for not supporting their cause, right? What are they doing to fight against human oppression? Are they even mentioning it at all? Do they even care? When you bring it up, how do they respond? Do they tell you to get over it? Are they challenging the master state's prohibition on your right to opt out? Are they advocating for the decriminalization of medical assistance in dying? Are they even anti-natalist? No. They're doing absolutely nothing to eliminate human oppression, yet they support your oppression and think that your oppression somehow is justified because it should lead to animal liberation. So going vegan has never eliminated a single instance of human oppression. It has not dismantled a single institution. Now they're going to tell you that if you go vegan, somehow that will liberate you. They know it's not true. They're not offering you a pathway out of your oppression. Only thing they're offering is to take away your food while you remain enslaved. This is a racket. Humans are the only beings capable of liberating animals, but they are also the only beings capable of liberating themselves. So because you have that higher cognitive capacity, wouldn't it be logical to focus on your liberation first? Because your liberation actually liberates the animals. Why would you put on somebody else's mask instead of putting on your own? Why should your higher cognitive capacity lead to your enslavement instead of your liberation? Why should everyone else besides you benefit from your superior intellect? The fact that you're capable of helping others does not mean that you're obligated to help others first at your own expense while you remain enslaved. So if you're able to escape the plantation, you're not obligated to stay on a plantation to help other slaves. You are not. You should escape. You should do everything to burn the plantation down. They don't want to do that. They want to keep the system, maintain it, while just being slightly more ethical. There are 8.5 billion people on the planet. There's more than enough people to support their vegan movement. All they have to do is proselytize. So they don't need to procreate in order to support their vegan army. They have an entire planet to recruit from. But they don't want to recruit from the existing humans. Why? Because they can't persuade them. They can't persuade, so they're going to procreate. They're going to breed someone into hell, force them to be vegan, and that's how they're going to artificially inflate their numbers. Now, I'm probably going to be doing a separate live stream explaining how the math doesn't make sense because there's a lot to it. So, again, nobody's saying that you shouldn't go vegan. Nobody's saying if that's what you want to do, that's fine. But as an anti-natalist or a life abolitionist, if they want something from you and they're not willing to support your liberation, you should flat out reject it. Especially when they're trying to use guilt tripping, because you're not saying no. It's not a flat out rejection. You're saying I'm giving you a conditional acceptance. If you support my cause, I will support yours. They don't want to support yours. So they're not the ones who rejected the offer. You put it on the table. You should not waver from it because your terms are easy to comply with. All you're saying is support my right to opt out. They don't want to support it. So basically, fuck my cause. Okay, that's your response is fuck my cause, then my response is fuck your cause. You don't care about me, then I don't care about your cause. That's how it is. I'm not the one who didn't care. You're the one who didn't care because you want to extract. So the conclusion is mutual support or mutual indifference. The offer is on the table. It's a reasonable offer. And it's the only offer. I'm not going to waver from this. You support my liberation, and I will support animal liberation. That's how this goes. If I give it to you first before you give it to me, you already know what's going to happen. You're going to extract. You will take my advocacy for the animals, and you're never going to circle back and support my liberation. That's never going to happen. So I have to get my cut first. You have to support my liberation, and then I'll support animal liberation because I don't trust you. I already know that you think that my cause is bullshit. I already know that you prioritize animal liberation before my liberation. So I'm going to get my cut first. I will support animal liberation when you support my liberation. You matter. Your suffering is real. You have experienced it. You know exactly what you have gone through. They want to dismiss it. They want to say it doesn't matter that somebody else is suffering more than you. You know this is not true. You know that you are a moral patient. You know that you deserve the same empathy, the same advocacy, the same urgency that is extended to these animals. The fact that you are human does not disqualify you from suffering. The fact that you're human does not transform your need for liberation into someone who's a moral agent who only owes duties but is not deserving of any empathy. You did not choose to be a human. It's not your fault that you're a human. You did not choose to be an omnivore. You are not obligated to serve causes that refuses to serve your liberation. You are not a resource. You are not an instrument in their causes. You are not a means to someone else's ends. You are a life slave. The master state forced you to exist, or they force you to continue to exist while extracting from you. So, mutual support or mutual indifference. Let's see if there's anybody still here. Am I joining who? No, I don't know what you mean. I don't know. They told me to. I'm so confused because I was just told just 2 days ago to get the fuck off his channel. We don't need you. And then this whole duplicity of, oh no, we need you. We need you. Everybody was complaining just yesterday about how that live stream was so boring. And now all of a sudden I'm needed after you told me to get the fuck off your channel. How does that work? How does that work? If I'm the draw for your channel, then you need to show some damn respect. Right? They talk about how I'm taking over the channel, I'm dominating, everything is about me, me, me. And then when I'm not there and when it's so boring, then they want me to come back. How does that work? How does that work? So if you're going to disrespect the people who helped to grow your channel, and if you explicitly say that you don't need me, then it is what it is. You tell me to reject both injustices, but they don't reject both injustices. They support one injustice while telling you to go against the other. How does that work? Why would I want to support a movement which supports my enslavement? Why would I want to use my limited resources advocating for a cause when they don't give a shit about mine? The only thing I asked, I would like the vegan society to change their definition of veganism, but I asked Vegan Gains to endorse anti-natalism on his channel. He rejected my offer, and yet he still wants me to go vegan. How does that work? Right. Well, they're not objects. They shouldn't be objects, but property rights only exist under capitalism and statism. So they don't want to address the root causes. They just want to tell you to give up your diet, to be miserable, to take B12 supplements. No, I disagree with you. I disagree with you. I think the definition of veganism is species in and of itself. It only focuses on animals while ignoring humans. And why is every other animal on the planet allowed to consume their natural diet except humans? Why is the civilized man expected to go vegan, but the primitive man is allowed to eat whatever he wants? This has nothing to do with race. This has nothing to do with race. I could have easily used a white man in that video, But I think that when you see that, I think that the message is clear. If I would have, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. This has nothing to do with race. It has nothing to do with race. It's about, as I say in my book, we are all life slaves. I'm not talking about chattel slavery. We are all enslaved to this system. We're all forced to exist against our will. So I get that there's a black man in the picture, but I'm not saying that blacks are uniquely enslaved. I'm saying we're all enslaved. Ableist. No, I think you're the ableist. I think you're the ableist because you're able to go vegan and you think it's so easy that you think everybody can do it so easily. You're the ableist, not me. You think eating tofu and eating your chickpeas is so easy? It's not easy for me. So you're the ableist. It's inconvenient for me. It does not taste good. I don't want to eat chickpeas. I'm not able to do it. You are. So you're the ableist, not me. Right. I'm not even going to get into that topic. I agree with you though. Well, but let's go back to this. No, but they exploit their own children. They pimp their own children out. They breed their children to hell and then take them to factory farms so they can post pictures on social media. No, I'm a moral patient just like the damn animal. Don't call me a moral agent when I don't even own my life, when I don't even have the right to earn a livelihood without a license from the master state. Thank you. Witchy, thank you so much for your insightful observation. Plant lives matter. Okay, I don't know. Well, that's what DNW said. He said that I was intellectually impaired, that my frontal cortex was not properly developed. Okay, then be an anti-natalist. Don't breed me into hell, and then you don't have to worry about my underdeveloped prefrontal cortex. Okay, that's the whole point. If sentience is the problem, why do they only care about animal sentience? Why is only animal suffering relevant, but human suffering is completely irrelevant? No. It's not too late, Witchy. It's not too late. There's several people who already have children, including Danny Shine. Danny Shine has 3 children, and he still considers himself an anti-natalist. If you read my book, what you already have, you know that even though you have children, there are things that you can do to address that imposition. You can support your own children's liberation, support their right to opt out, make sure you don't disinherit them, do whatever you can to mitigate the harm, make their quality of life as good as possible. It's never too late to be an anti-natalist. If you are, I understand you have 5 children, but if you listen to that discussion with Dee the other day, she talked about how a lot of women have children not because they necessarily want to, but they do it for men. So as long as you have some type of contrition about it, then you can still be an anti-natalist. It's never too late. I don't know what you're talking about because they always say that veganism is not a diet. It's an ethical position. So if it's not a diet, then you should be allowed to eat a steak and still call yourself vegan. So, and according to Vegan Games, I am vegan already because I consume lost products. I consume animal products that are on clearance. So I'm not actually contributing to the problem. Don't come to me with this Academy of Nutrition. I don't care. I don't care about your appeals to authority. What I would listen to is the anecdotal information. I would listen to the ex-vegans who were vegan for 10 to 20 years and had all these negative outcomes. Oh my God! Don't talk to me about health. Don't talk to me about health. I don't. You can say that veganism is an ethical duty because you care about the animals, but you're not going to tell me that it's healthy. You're not going to tell me that eating anti-nutrients and taking B12 supplements is healthy. You're not going to do that. Well, it is for them. It is either or for them because many of them have said that you can't support animal liberation and human liberation because if you support human liberation, then basically the animals will get ignored. So they will explicitly say that they care more about animals than they care about humans. Yet they'll tell you that it's wrong to do the inversion. It is wrong and unethical and selfish and solipsistic to care more about humans than it is to care about animals. They will say, some of them will say, if there was a drowning cat or a drowning dog, they would save the drowning dog or before they would save the drowning baby. Okay, you know what? I don't have a whole lot of time. I don't have a whole lot of time, but I will post a link. We just did a whole panel discussion the other day, and of course you didn't pull up. You didn't pull up. You just want to hide in the comment section. You're not going to actually debate me because I actually had a couple of interesting enough, I actually convinced two people. I'm not going to say I'm proud of this. I convinced two people who were wavering to basically be anti-vegan because I convinced them of the illogic of it. First, I convinced them that, well, I explained to them that humans can exist without B12, and B12 cannot be found in any plant-based product. And the B12 that they take is synthetic, so they have to take synthetic B12 in order to survive. And then I also talked about how there is no such thing as a pure herbivore. All animals consume other animals, including the so-called herbivores, the ruminants, the deer, well, horses are not ruminants, but cows. They all eat animals. Cows will eat mice. Horses will eat birds. We saw a deer eating a bird. Hi, welcome. I can't be on here very long, but let's see if are you here? Let me see if I think I just brought you up. Oh, okay, now you're up. Hello. Can you turn your mic on? You're already up. Viking, can you hear me? Okay, I'm going to drop you down, or let me see if I can fix it on my end.
Oh, yeah, I hear you.
Okay, I can hear you.
Am I speaking? So,
Yes.
what's up, man? So let's just start with your point about B12, and you say it's not natural to, have to take a supplement if you're not getting it from the meat or whatever. Well, I mean, it's a argument about what's natural, and we did get here to where we are as humans in this hell, as we agree that it is, and it's somewhat natural just because humans aren't natural, and we're not aligned with nature. But I mean, there's a
Can I,
lot
can I
that's
just clarify?
maybe.
Can I just clarify? Because I don't make appeals to nature. My issue isn't that it's not natural; it's that it's unsustainable. That you can't live in a state of nature, or you can't exist independent of a state and a corporation without to get your B12 supplements. So if I want to be self-sufficient, if I want to grow my own foods and not be a slave to a corporation, I can't do that as a vegan.
Mhm. Well, there's a lot going on today that we require these corporations and whatever they build and make and produce. And if you were to try to do what you're doing today without these corporations and stuff, it just wouldn't be possible. We needed to band together and have these people create these things. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing today. So to be able to change your diet and supplement your diet with B12, and I mean, I take other vitamins. I eat superfood and stuff like that, and I mean, I wouldn't be able to grow all that stuff here naturally or anything like that. There's a whole lot of stuff that's not natural, but we do it, and it's just part of our modern lives.
But I'm an anarchist, though. I don't want to be dependent on a state. I don't want to be dependent on corporations. Like, I want self-sustaining local economies, and that's not possible under a vegan framework.
Well, you still use all this stuff that you use. Let's say government stuff, and I mean I get what you're saying. I get the anarchy thing, but it's really not going to ever happen. And people aren't even smart enough to self-govern, and we're not trained that way. We're being getting stupider and stupider, and I mean at some point we just have to like branch off from all this stuff, have your own opinions, live your life as a anarchist, if however far you can take that. But I mean,
Well, yeah, but
yeah,
but my goal is to eventually get enough land so that I can homestead. I don't like. I want to be completely self sufficient. I want to grow my own vegetables, have some chickens, maybe some rabbits, and then not be dependent on the system at all. So that's my goal. I don't. I know I can't be completely independent of the state, but I don't want to be dependent on the supply chain either.
for
So
sure.
what do you
Have you
think about
ever
that? What do you think about homesteading? Is that unethical?
I mean, have you ever killed an animal yourself and gutted it and cooked it and everything?
I've killed an animal. I haven't done all that stuff. I mean,
Like you killed a pigeon or something?
no, I've killed rodents.
Yeah. I mean, and like each animal is different, and like we might say that a shitty human being is lower on the scale of deservedness of life, or comfort or anything like that, as opposed to someone who does things to help others. And just like you would say, some animals, maybe are like more important to save, like we believe in cats and dogs and stuff like that, even though vegans believe that all animals deserve the right to live the life that they're living the way that they are naturally persuaded to do, or innately right. And but then plants are lower on that scale. We love plants as well, and you don't disrespect any life. And so that's the whole theme, is to try to get rid of suffering. And it's more of a um like I mean, you were in a discussion that we talked about karma and stuff like that. And it's just
Right,
I just jumped into this. I'm not ready to speak all super heavy, but
right. They
you
say
get what I'm
karma
saying.
as if because you're not vegan, that means you deserve to be oppressed. As if you weren't vegan, somehow it's going to trickle up to you. That's not how it works. You were actually oppressed before you ever consumed anything. You were oppressed the day you came out your mother's womb.
Um, I mean, I think it was bound to happen, not necessarily oppressed at that point. I get what you're saying, though. Um, and so, yeah, I was raised to eat meat, and so were you, and everybody else. And it's like this perpetuation. It's just this idea that we have. It's a structure that we're given. We don't know a lot of our history and stuff. And I know we've also talked about how many vegans there are throughout history. Not too many, but man, oh man, I mean, it's I don't know. Since it's possible, and it does have a less suffering involved, and you can help others. And I feel fucking great. I feel great with this weight lifted off my shoulders. I'm very healthy. I can pretty much bet I'm healthier than most people. I'm just this health freak, and I'm vegan. And and things like, I mean, people talk about all sorts of stuff being healed through a juice diet and stuff like that. It's definitely has these benefits, and you have to apply a mental um, attitude, energy to it. You have to be positive about it. You'll start to gain symptoms of your depression if you're negative about it, right? Being
Wait, how?
positive is always going to.
Can you clarify that? If I don't agree with it, if I don't like the food that I'm eating, I'm just doing it begrudgingly because I think it's an ethical duty. How can I be positive? I would be doing it just because I think, I don't know, other people have, shamed me into doing it. But why would I be happy about it if I don't like that type of food? How is that even possible?
Well, because you know that you're doing something that is causing less suffering for sentient beings that if you were to interact with, you might find a relationship with. You might be friends with an animal.
But I
I'm
don't see
friends
it
with
that way,
cats.
though. I don't see it that way. I don't think that it actually changes anything. I think the animal
Yeah.
has already been slaughtered, and whether I choose the tofu or the chicken, the animal is not going to be saved. I think my opinion, which I'm going to talk about later, I think anti-natalism does far more. I think that if you reduce the number of consumers by not breeding them into existence in the first place, you would actually accomplish more. But just changing your diet, I don't think that really accomplishes anything. It's not a one-to-one ratio that because you chose the tofu that the chicken is actually being saved.
Well, it would be. I mean, it's maybe not being saved, but it wouldn't be. It wouldn't have been bred in the first place if enough
That's not even
people.
true. Even that isn't true. They don't have any evidence to show that.
Well, if supply and demand, if you just take that principle, that's what would happen.
Okay, well, I'm going to address that maybe not tomorrow, but yeah, it's not necessarily true because the number of omnivores is offset, so you can't keep pace. The number of people who are converting to veganism does not keep pace with the number of omnivores that are being created.
Hey, that's fair. There's more and more death being caused and sacrifices being done every year because of the population. I totally agree with that. I don't have kids. I'm 37, but I also understand that there are things that I can do actively to make a difference for those that I actually do appreciate, those with innocence that are just doing their natural thing. They're not the ones causing suffering in this world. It's us adults. Even children don't cause this suffering. It's us adults, and we can't really put things on children or, you know, a potential future adult that might have been raised well to make a positive effect on the world. Though I don't really believe in any more positivity happening in this world, but I'm more of like a just let's end the suffering as much as we can until this place goes kaboo. Because fuck this place, honestly, unless something great happens, which is just not. I'm totally there in this this thought you're in. I understand your side of things, but I mean, personally, I'm going to do what I can
But
to. I'm happy doing it too.
but
Very
what do you
happy.
think about this whole thing that it trickles up? That if you support animal liberation, that magically supports human liberation. Do you think that's true?
Magically, as in causing an effect through
Or
will.
karma, or however you like, they never explain
Yeah,
how.
yeah. So when a person goes vegan, and if there are more people going vegan, it's like a movement. There have been movements, the Gnostic movement, or maybe movement or whatever. I mean, if you consider Jesus a Gnostic, or if he wasn't even alive. Sorry, I don't know. That's a whole. Don't want to start there, but um, uh, I mean, it was true. They got rid of all of them, but it happened, and it leaves an effect. Has left an effect. We feel it today. They didn't like succeed in this big thing, but that it resonates. There is some sort of effect, and so we're not going to save the world through going vegan, but we make an effect for the better. I do believe.
Okay, brother Marcus, welcome to the discussion. What do you think about that?
Sorry, I didn't get the end of it because you said you had more viewers, so I was looking at the numbers to see if that was accurate. I didn't hear the last part
Well,
of what
yeah,
Magic.
I have 17 and he had 15. So, like, I mean, I don't know if you can see it because I'm streaming on two channels.
I saw the two channels. It was like when I refresh, it says here 13 on this one, and then 3.
Right, but
And
I'm just saying because he's like, well, I don't need you on my channel, like, and and then, I mean, I'm not trying to be petty, but at the end of the day, he did tell me to get the fuck off his channel, and then just yesterday, he's asking me to come on because he wants me to debate vegan gains.
if you listen to the start of that stream, it sounded like the whole show started off as a dedication to you. So you might
Right, because that's the whole point. Because it's a response to the video that I did where he's just like, "Oh, might makes right, get over it," and then so he decided. So at the end of the day, his it still begs the question because it's like you're not needed. I'm not needed on his channel, but he still made a whole live stream about me that drew all these people, and then he wants me to come on. What the hell? You just told me you don't need me on your channel.
Yep. Well, good luck with
that. Like I said, I'm not a snowflake. I don't take it personally.
I am a snowflake. Someone says I'm not welcome, I don't show. Fuck that.
So I'm just saying it didn't hurt my feelings. It's not like I'm going to cry about it.
If someone, okay, but clear, like regardless of your feelings, if someone says you're not welcome, why would you go?
Right.
But he did ask you multiple times to go on yesterday, so he does. Right. I think he does want you.
Right. So it's the whole duplicity of it. Like, you don't want me, now you want me because people were in the comment section talking about how it's so boring. Where's LA? Where's LA? And I'm just like, I'm not going on there. I mean, I was at work anyway, so like, and he's telling me to just basically fuck work. We need you on the panel. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not getting in trouble just so that you can get your views up.
I think that was just being funny. I don't think anybody's expecting you to quit your job to join a panel.
I don't know. He was in the comment section saying, yeah, like basically because Vegan Games was there, and he knew that debate was horrible between him and that crazy dude Guru. I was just listening, and I'm just like, what the fuck? If I was there, there's no way this would be going this way. Like Vegan Games, those arguments were not compelling at all. But for whatever reason, nobody can actually go toe to toe with Vegan Games. I'm not intimidated by him.
Right.
And I think they don't understand like his whole way of thinking, like the way he argues, and it's just like I think he eventually got bored because it's like nobody's challenging him, and so he just like, okay, well, I wanted some kind of intellectual challenge, and I didn't get it, so I'm just going to get out of here.
Oh, that other person left. Sorry if I interrupted that. It sounded like you guys were having a good conversation.
No, I mean, it was fine. I think it's just like pushback because it's like, okay, well, two wrongs don't make a right. But at the same time, they never want to, they don't want to acknowledge they're wrong. They just, you're wrong. I'm going to wag my finger at you, but I'm right because I'm ethically superior. You should only care about animal liberation and not care about your liberation. You're selfish.
Oh, okay. I hope you can come back on because you guys were having a good conversation.
No, it's fine. Like I told him, I can't stay on here very long anyway. I just wanted to give him a chance to tell me what he had to say. And there was another vegan who was on my live stream the other day, and I asked him to come up, the vegan anthem. He won't do it.
Did you edit that? Because I wanted to watch it later, and then I noticed it wasn't there, and then you uploaded it as a video.
Because I had actually fell asleep, so at the end of it, it just like ran over, and then I woke up, and I was like, well, I don't want to use that.
Right.
But
that makes sense, yeah. I haven't watched it yet, but I do plan on watching it.
Well, it's like 9 hours. I don't know.
Well, I do like data entry, so like for 8-9 hours, I kind of need something to, pass the time while I'm doing stuff.
Right. It was supposed to be about veganism, but we did talk about other stuff, so it's just like intermediate, Um, but I was surprised because I thought I was just coming on there for like an hour, and then other people came and it just ran over. So Pastor D was finally able to come up, and I don't know. I guess he doesn't like when I use restream because okay, he's back.
Hey, yeah, I just having problems. Tried to activate my camera. I'm feeding a squirrel out here by hand. Thought I'd make y'all cutied up.
Okay, just to be honest though, because what there's that. If you listen to what he said, he's just like, just go vegan, you'll feel better. It makes the world better. It does all. It's just like, no, it does not do. It in theory, if you actually believed it, if everybody went vegan, it would liberate animals. It would do nothing for humans. That's the whole point of the thumbnail. I guess some people think that I'm race baiting. I'm not. I don't. It's not race. I could have used a white man, but I don't think the message would have been clear. Um, like I even tried to do that, and it's like, does this really look like a slave? Like, just because people make the connection when they see a black person. That's it. Yeah, I wasn't trying to like race bait. But the message I was trying to make is in the first picture he's eating chicken, and then the second picture he's eating tofu, but he still is enslaved. So it did not change anything.
Right.
Yeah. And you think anti-natalism, or that there's some sort of thing we can do to make it better for humanity?
They shouldn't exist in the first place. That's my position.
So then why do you use that as an argument? Oh, they're trying to save animals and not humans, but there's no saving humans. So then why
No,
not try to save the animals?
by not bringing them into existence. So by not bringing them into existence, you save the humans and the animals. Veganism only saves the animals. So whether
Yeah,
you're
but I mean,
vegan or the
it
tofu, you're still forced to exist against your will.
yeah, and that's the general whole. That's as a whole, but individually, we can live better lives. We can live virtuous, or
But
virtuous lives, right?
that's not true though. If that's the kind of food that you like, if that's your lifestyle, then you would see that as a better life. For me, I don't even like that. It's inconvenient. It would make my life much more difficult. I would be miserable. I've tried to go vegan. I mean, I'm not going to say vegan. I went plant based. I didn't like it. I was gassy. Like my mood, it's just like, okay, so like I go to lunch and usually I have something to look forward to, and I ate this like lentil loaf and some mashed potatoes, and I didn't feel satiated. And then it's just like the highlight of my day has already been taken, and I still have to exist. So it
Oh,
didn't make me feel better. It actually made me more depressed.
yeah. So that's an experience that you've had, and depending on when that was, there was only a certain amount of alternative foods, alternative meats, let's say, which isn't good for you. It's gonna make you gassy. It's gonna, you're not gonna feel great. So, there are ways that you can go about it, that you can do it that won't make you feel so shitty, and there are ways to make you feel satiated as well. Mushrooms are a very unknown, very, they're not popular. People don't know. You got to cook them. You can turn them into steaks. You can change the texture, throw some barbecue sauce on there. Very satiating, filling. Doesn't have as much protein. It's got a ton of other nutrients. They're great for you. That's our real meat alternative.
But why they
And
want me to do all this, go through all this rigmarole, and they're not even
yeah,
willing to make a slight
'cause
effort
they
to support my cause. Why should I do that for them when they're not willing to do anything for me?
Okay, so I'm going to go back to the other point, and then maybe I can try to get to that little argument. But I mean, it's not a great argument. The thing that you mentioned before of convenience, that's the whole fucking system that has kept brought us down to where we're at, is making everything so damn convenient. And
No,
if you're going to insist that you need your convenience, then that's just, dude, you're just doing exactly what they built for you, and conditioned you
That's
to
not
do.
my argument. I'm saying I'm willing to take the inconvenience, but I want something in return. I want them to support my cause too, and they're not willing to do that.
Hey man, I've been there too. I've expected other people to reciprocate some sort of golden rule that I've applied and given toward them, and it just doesn't fucking happen. There are a lot of scumbags in this world, man. You cannot expect scumbags to do something good for you. People are
So
demons. People are
why should I do
possessed.
it? It doesn't benefit me. I don't even agree with it. Why should I do it?
Well, because there's a good outcome and you care about innocence and animals, perhaps. That's it. If you don't, then don't do it.
But I don't believe that it accomplishes anything.
It doesn't have to accomplish anything that you can factually imagine. You have to have hope that it does and find it through your own
No,
experience
no,
results that show that there are positive conclusions to this or positive results to it. You'd have to
no.
find it for yourself. Nobody's going to be able to show you the results.
If I believe there's a better way to liberate animals, I would do the better way instead of sacrificing and in order to do something that I don't think accomplishes anything.
Well, you then you're gonna try to invent something to make their lives better. That, like, I mean, I understand maybe there's possibilities out there, but doing what you can now is better than just dreaming about something that can save the world, save humanity, save animals, or whatever.
No, the only I would not change anything, and the only person who would suffer would be me. So I would be suffering unnecessarily just because I want to be virtuous, and it's not justified.
Well, I mean, if you're happy, trying to fight for abolitionism, abolitionism, or anti-natalism, let's say. Um, if you're happy doing what you do, man, you continue doing what you do. I mean, I'm just trying to. If you're looking for an argument on the vegan side, it's simply if you care about innocence, if you care about um, if you have care for others, those who actually deserve it, not the fuck asses who are out in the world perpetuating this simulacra of just fucking nonsense and fake energy and money and just a stupid American dream. We both live in America, and if you're happy enjoying your convenience and your food, your fast food or whatever it is, then continue doing it. But I mean, you got to try to do something else. And fighting for innocence, fighting for the weak, it feels good. You feel like a man, and it's great.
Don't you think humans deserve liberation? Don't you think humans deserve advocates? It's like they don't want to do anything for humans. They think that we're just moral agents, not moral patients. It's like humans are just as oppressed as these animals. So why should I
Yeah.
prioritize? They want to arbitrarily say that animals are more oppressed than humans, and they completely ignore the human problem. And then
So,
if you do the opposite when it comes to animals, you're certainly a moral monster.
well, as a vegan, we do kind of hyperbolize things so that it really gets the point across. But yes, we're both humans and animals are both oppressed and enslaved and manipulated. Using our energy, we're batteries, just like the animals are for us. But we have the capability to change things. They do not. They are meek. They do not have the ability to rebel, to think up new systems, to change. They just do what they do, and we hold that against them. We use that against them. And
That's
it's
the
just,
point that I was making earlier. Because you have higher cognitive capacity, you're going to be punished for it. You're the one who has to suffer, who has to go without to go against your biology and take B12 supplements. Someone who has lesser intelligence, the animal, the primitive man, they can live according to their nature. You can't even use your superior intellect to liberate yourself. Your intellect is something to be extracted from for the benefit of others. They get to be liberated, and you must remain enslaved. They want to procreate so they can create their vegan army. So you have to suffer and die so that others can benefit from it.
I mean, okay. Um, I'm not part of this vegan army. I'm just a part of being manipulated and used and not given love and care like I felt like I wanted, and now I give it to those that I feel like they can use it. And just I don't know, man. Like um yeah, I just don't. I'm not like part of this vegan army. I think each person is going to make their own decisions, and just like with content today, content creators and stuff, everybody goes all these different ways, and it's none of it's profound. None of it's like gonna really change anything. It's just a bunch of more people in this world need jobs, and it's just extracting outward. Into like fragments or smaller fragments of this foundational thing that could so for instance, if we all knew psychology from Jung and or Freud, we wouldn't need a psychologist and a therapist and all this stuff. If we knew how to have a diet, whatever diet it is, they don't teach us this in school. We would be better off. We don't need all these branching out of the fundamental curriculum that can better our lives, but that's just the way the world is. So I don't care about all the things that are going on right now. We have to search in ourselves individually for the fundamentals, for the foundational principles of what we want in our lives. And I don't care for any of the crap that's going on right now. I just want to get back to my innocence and feel good about what I do. And that includes my diet.
Well, I would say the innocent man is the primitive man who has not been corrupted by civilization and does not know anything about factory farming, the hunter gatherer who lives according to his nature and is not guilt tripped into going against his nature and taking B12 supplements. Like, I mean, it's almost like you once you know about it, like you have this knowledge about factory farming, then you really can't do. It's like you want to do something about it, but you're really powerless to do something about it. So the only thing you can do is punish yourself. Um, I don't.
Yeah. It's a sacrifice you got to make. You know, there's sacrifices you got to make to make your life better, better job, better. You know, you want a better girl or guy, or you know, you got to work toward it. Sacrifices are involved.
Okay, if you were to take the animals out of the equation and just focus on yourself, how does that? How does it benefit you? What do you actually get out of it?
Well, you don't take the animals out of it because that's, you know, what I actively do every day. Well, I mean, and so how would it benefit me to not eat animals?
No, I mean,
Or
how does it increase your quality of life? Does like what do you get out of it? Okay, let's not even focus on the ethics. Let's just focus on the diet itself. How do you benefit from a plant-based diet?
well, I feel a lot lighter. I don't need to worry about protein. I worry about nutrients getting, you know, I can go with a different macronutrient, you know, eating 240 grams of protein a day is ridiculous, but that's what they have us stride for. So I feel lighter. I'm faster. You know, I'm pretty fit when I'm not doped up and you know like taking these huge breaks and trying to save the world like I do on occasion with you know stupid talks with randos that I know. You know, I've had my own delusions, but uh, other than that, Well, whatever, man. I feel lighter. I feel better. I do feel like I am more ethical. You know, I do feel like I am doing the right thing, and that feels good to me. It feels good to not have this weight of, oh God, I'm contributing. I'm perpetuating this system of sacrifice and slavery of innocent animals who can't do anything about it. It just feels good. I feel, and I'm quick, and whatever, man. I've adapted to something that not a lot of people do. I'm not part of the rat race. I don't feel like a cog or a robot doing what I was conditioned to do, like 95% of the world or more.
Okay, but if I'm consuming meat that is on clearance, that is, as Vegan Gang said, it's a lost product um, that was about to be thrown away. Is that really contributing to the problem?
Well, they overproduce, and gets on clearance because someone didn't buy it. So, I mean, I guess
But
at that point,
they're not making a profit from it.
oh, they're not making a profit for it. That's fine. But and yes, there's a problem of overproducing all these products, cows and milk and chickens and whatever, and they have to kill them because or shit goes on clearance or whatever. But yeah, that's a symptom of the whole system. It's not, and you taking part of it will make it happen again, kind of thing. You're not doing the worst thing by doing that, but I mean, it's still part of it. You're still in that system.
Right. I feel like no matter what, it's never going to be enough. You can't really opt out of the system. I mean, you can't, like, even if you are vegan, they condemn you for feeding your cats meat or because you let your dog out or your cat outside. It's just you can't win. It's like you're not doing it the right way. You're not getting enough protein. Like they attack people for not being raw vegan. Um, it's just to me, it's just a race to the bottom.
Well,
They always talk about how you're not doing enough. If you cheat, quote unquote cheat, which a lot of them do, you accidentally ate the cake that had eggs in it, then you're not a real vegan. Or if you took,
yeah,
even if you take uh, I, I don't know, some type of medication that was tested on animals, you're not a real vegan. If you drink soda that contains aspartame, you're not a vegan because the aspartame was tested on animals.
yeah. So hey, technically that would be the case, and veganism is just this term, whatever. But I would like to ask you, why would you advocate for anarchy if it's not going to happen? Because it's not, unless the world goes to shit, and then there's no government.
Because
But you still,
it exposes the illegitimacy of every demand that is placed on me, that I be productive, that I obey unjust laws, that have all these duties. It's like, yeah, you can force me to do it, but I'm not going to give you the satisfaction to say that these are legitimate duties. I don't consent to it. So
And what do
so
you
you're
deny
basically going to have to
forcing it?
do. You're basically going to have to hold a gun to my head, or you're going to have to threaten violence against me because I'm not going to just willingly submit.
hey, fair enough, but it's still the same thing of a vegan advocating for the reducing of suffering. You're advocating, or at least pointing out the fact that we are enslaved by government,
The difference,
controlled on.
the difference is that the things that I'm addressing are the root causes. I'm addressing the procreation, the institution of procreation, and the state, which leads to capitalism. So those are the root causes of all this oppression for animals and humans. Because without procreation, none of this would exist. We would not be consuming animals, and without capitalism, factory farms would not exist. So I'm addressing the root causes. They're not. They're addressing symptoms. They're saying these institutions exist. I'm going to perpetuate it, but now I'm going to tell you how to live within these systems that we support.
Yeah, fair enough, man. I think anti-natalism is another thing that just isn't going to happen. There's a lot of good, or at least better ways that aren't going to happen, right? So I respect your point on antinatalism, and I don't expect you to reciprocate any sort of understanding or agree, that we have with each other. It's fine. I'm saying that you could individually have a more fulfilled life by going vegan and feeling better about yourself.
Fulfilled? I would be more fulfilled by taking food. Like, that's not fulfillment, that's extraction. I'm taking food away from myself. Because it's not like I'm just eating animals. I'm eating animals and plants, which, because I'm an omnivore. So if I took one thing out, that would not be fulfillment. That would be a subtraction. And what makes it so bad is that I would actually feel like I was exploited because I'm supporting your cause and you're not willing to support mine. I just don't like being used that way. I want it to be reciprocal.
Is he still there?
I don't know. I just don't understand why this is so complicated. I'm not saying that I'm not willing to go vegan.
Oh, he's back, I think.
I just want vegan to support my cause too. I don't want it to be unilateral, one-sided, and they just refuse to support it. I'm tired of them being dismissive, not caring, and then they want me to care about their cause.
Yeah. Hey, I understand that. And I guess if you didn't hear me, I do respect your side of it. And, I forgot where I got cut off, but I hear you, man. And,
I'm sorry, I did.
Oh, you got cut off after you said he would live a fulfilling life, and then life pushed back on.
Okay.
It didn't feel like a fulfilling life because there would be a subtraction. And then, yeah.
Right. And so physical fulfillment, but I'm, when you go vegan for the right cause and you do it for the animals and not because you like to eat the meat, you feel fulfilled in a way. As long as you're getting the energy that can be extracted through, let's say, all sorts of things. Different vitamins can give you energy. Exercising daily for a certain amount of time, however you need to do it, will make you feel energized, and you're also burning energy. So that's another contradiction right there, but somehow it works and you do feel fulfilled. Like, let's say, like you'd feel fulfilled going out and doing something good for others. You feel fulfilled doing something that helped someone because you know that they're doing better, that they appreciate you, and that you feel like you've done something, and it's a fulfillment, right?
Well,
So
but the animals don't even know that you're doing it. I mean, I understand that they benefit from it, but they don't know that you're vegan. There's nobody. The only validation you would get would be from other vegans. Now, what do you think about all these anti-vegans who were vegan for 10 to 20 years and had all these negative health outcomes? Like, why should I not listen to them? They were vegan, and now they're saying, don't go vegan because I had all these problems.
oh yeah, I mean, I see. I go to channels like vegan. It was a vegan deterioration or something channel, and a bunch of those guys are there. And I mean, I will talk to them. A lot of them just say, "Oh, I wasn't." Some of them say it was a medical thing, and some of them say this or that. So it's an individual basis. Um, and what would I say to those who, especially the ones who just, I felt like I was malnutritious or something like that. I'd say, well, I don't feel that way. There's people who have been vegan longer than I have. I've only been vegan for 6.5 years, or I guess plus time because I've tried it before. But and I mean, there's guys with six pack. There's whatever, like the fit guys. St. Pierre was a vegan when he was the heavyweight champion. And whatever. I don't know all about all of the athletes and stuff like that, but it's possible, and I think that a lot of the vegans have done it for different reasons, sometimes political, and you're just not really like, you probably don't have a positive outlook on it. You're trying to do it if you're a lefty person who's trying to like virtue signal through being vegan. That's just not a real base to, you know, that's, you shouldn't base your diet on that, because you're not having this extra I don't know, it's like it all just goes to like a spiritual thing, and I don't like to say spiritual, but hey, how do people heal themselves through positive mindsets and stuff like that? It's some sort of element or aspect that is being added to the overall, you know, it's like some food that you're getting through the, who knows, ether that you're getting energy from by having a positive mental outlook on these things. And shit, man, I mean, there's just so many possibilities out there. I don't know how to explain it all, but I have a fulfilled life and I'm vegan and I feel way better than I did when I was eating meat. And yeah,
Okay,
and so,
I'll go ahead.
I mean, you can reply to that. I was going to ask you, what do you think about all the crap that's going on with the meat industry these days, with all the glue that's, you know, keeping meat together, and I don't know, the lack of supply when there's so many more people and stuff like that. They're going to reduce the quality of your food, your supposed
Right.
food, your meat.
I would say then the solution is to reduce the human population, and they won't have to do all those things. But
Won't happen.
my question would be, if I want to advocate for human liberation, but I want vegans to support that, do you think strategically that I should support their cause first, or should they support mine first? Because if I go vegan first, do you think they're ever going to have a desire to reciprocate, or is my only leverage the fact that they want me to go vegan? I just think that if I go vegan first, they're never going to reciprocate.
Mm. Yeah, no, and I do like your what you are arguing for. I'd like to even like help you with your rhetoric, because I feel like the way that you go about it, you know, I don't believe it's possible for people to stop having babies. I think people are too selfish or maybe hopeful or whatever it is, but you could go about it better, I do believe. Um,
How?
and as
Because I mean, they say that I'm being selfish and narcissistic, but that's the whole thing. I think they're doing that, and then the fact that they can't manipulate me because I am putting humans first, they don't know what to do with that. It's like a dead end, and so they can just get angry and start, oh, you're an asshole, blah blah blah. And it's just like, no, I'm telling you, I'm willing to support your cause, but you're not willing to support mine. So it's really simple.
Yeah, and you're generalizing, but also I've heard you talk before. I've heard your rhetoric, and you know, I know how that you do just have a stance that you don't sway on, and it's hard to see eye to eye. Like it's hard to get on a level playing field with you, that we can get anywhere other than life abolitionism is for anti-natalism, and that's the end all for him. You know, there is no like there's very little like whatever you call that, level field between you and people that you debate with. And so with that, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like you could do better. I feel like you need instruction from oh fuck, I can't think of his name. Debater in history, Greek history, whatever.
Socrates?
Yeah, Socrates. And I do like your point, man. I really do. I think it's way quicker and easier to go vegan than it is to start having people not have babies. And personally, I don't have a kid, so you and I are agreeing with each other. I am supporting your side of things. So how much are you going to support my side of it?
I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about the collect. I'm talking about veganism as a movement. The definition is flawed. The main content creators or influencers are focusing on animals exclusively. They don't have any empathy for humans. So even if you as an individual vegan um, support my liberation, it doesn't change. It's not enough. The numbers are not there. If you only have vegans are only 2% of the population anyway, and then if you only have I don't know 10% of that 2% supporting human liberation, then it does nothing.
Well, it does that much, just like the small amount of vegans that there are does affect. It does, it will ripple out. There are more vegans every year, even though there's probably more meat eaters every year as well.
No, there are people who are leaving anti-natalism because they say we need more humans to liberate animals.
Yeah, yeah. So, and like I was mentioning before, I don't care about the movements today. It's the hyperbolic kind of. You got to have a name, you got to have a brand, you got to get out there. That's just what it is. And fortunately, the term vegan has, and the
Lost him again.
My bad. So fortunately, veganism has been able to get to me and others and have some sort of effect. Um, it's not about the movement. It's not about the hyperbolic kind of. It's like that's not what it is. You have to experience it for yourself in order to understand what it's really about. I'm not a like a radical vegan. I'm not part of this vegan army. I'm not gonna associate, and I'm not like. Honestly, I lean on the side of conservatism politically, and all the people that I side politically with, side lean toward, uh, fucking hate my guts simply for being vegan. It's more of the lefties who are willing to, but it's like I just can't see. I can't see as much on their side of like affecting change the way that they do, as opposed to well, let's get back to our fundamentals of like what we are in America, which I don't know. I'm not political. I don't know if that's what conservatives even stand for, what they try to stand for. But I'm just saying, I'm not part of the group, and I don't think any vegan should be part of some sort of radical group. That whatever, let them do it. Let the radicals do it. But you individually start getting good with start finding your innocence self that you've like you said have has been suppressed due to this world, and you've had to adapt. Try to find them again. Try to find that soul, and there's plenty of things that you can do. Substances. We're talking about eating stuff. I mean, that's what food is a medicine, and there's different medicines that will put you in an altered state, and you'll end up feeling more appreciative about stuff and have a new outlook on life. But use responsibly, eat responsibly, and try to, I guess, try to have fun, and just if you feel like trying to do better for the world, make it about that. But or if you're just not into any of that stuff, then just keep on doing what you're doing, bro. I do like your message, but like I said, your rhetoric can be tuned, and
I feel like I have to say it bluntly because nobody else is saying it. It's just like they don't get it, and when I try to, it's like when I try to explain it and try to just like say it softly or whatever, they just get over it, like or the human predicament is not as urgent as the animal one. Um, like I have to say it explicitly. I don't agree. It's not just that I don't enjoy plant foods. It's not that's not it. I don't agree that their approach actually works. Brother Marcus, I'm not going to be here much longer. So
Oh, okay.
it's not it. I just don't agree with their approach. I think the urgent problem is to reduce the human population. I don't think that our like the 8.5 billion is sustainable, um, vegan or not. I think that anti-natalism solves the human liberation problem as well as the animal liberation problem.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't think even being vegan, I think it would get weird. I mean, it's like you wouldn't. Yeah, no, I hear you. I don't even need to go any further. Um, I appreciate the talk. It's been good.
Okay, brother Marcus, did you have anything?
So to summarize the premises that would need to be falsified, it would be the empirical evidence about health, the empirical evidence about effectiveness in terms of reducing animals from sparing animals from coming into existence, and then possibly feeling uh, satiated. Would that sum it up?
Yeah, I would like to see some. I haven't seen any study that shows that going vegan actually saves the animals. I don't see that.
Okay.
I mean, I know in theory you think that you're reducing the demand, but you still have to prove that.
Right. If those three premises were someone provided evidence for those three, would that help?
It would. I don't think anybody would be able to do it though, because I've already seen especially when it comes to the health outcomes. But yeah, if they could address those concerns, then that would help.
Okay.
Nice.
But I know you're busy, but whenever you get a chance, I did send you that email, and I just
I got I got half of it as yes, I started replying to it and I'm halfway into replying.
okay, yeah, because there is a way to do it, and they're just not doing it the right way. So if we could do veganism the way that I'm proposing, then it would actually make sense. Um, so yeah, I guess I'll just wait for your response, because if I can do veganism that way and do it in a healthy way, but I'm not doing it the way that they're doing it.
Right. Chickpea, you can tell him your own self someday. I'm not interested in that type of discussion anymore.
I mean, I try to be respectful. I don't like, if I know I'm on D&W's channel, I don't bring it up. I know people are sensitive, but at the end of the day, if they're going to yell at me and say you're an asshole and do all, then I have to defend myself. I'm not going to sit up here and just be abused and like, I mean, I'm not a victim, obviously, but you don't get to wag your finger at me when you're not even an anti-natalist.
And also, if these are if the way that you reason, these are the premises that you're asserting, you won't accept the conclusion, then me calling you names is just, it's not going to help. I just don't see any reason to do it. I don't think there's, yeah.
Yeah, I
So,
do have a
I'm
part
not
two.
gonna
I'm
do
not going to do it right now because I do have to get ready to go. But there's more to it. I just think that they're liberating animals. They're doing it the hard way instead of the smart way. There's a smarter way to liberate animals. So I'm not against animal liberation. I don't think that the veganism approach does it.
So, if I might interject, do you feel all right partaking in the simulacra, let's say ancient simulacra, as this system designed by someone or some group of people that we all live in, and there's multiple simulacra? Do you feel good, or do you feel a little weird, or do you feel anything at all for the fact that you are in that system, perpetuating that system that was just, I mean, it's it's not even natural. None of this is natural. So you have to partake in something. I personally will go always in the like for the underdog, as the underdog for the weak, and maybe that's a religious kind of upbringing I have and whatever. But don't you feel a little weird since you're a black sheep in a way? Do you feel weird going after convenience and perpetuating the sacrifice that is written about in the Bible? You know that God favored Abel as opposed to Cain, even though Cain, by the way, was untouchable once he was kicked out of the garden. And that's part of the karma that I believe occurs, is I'm in a way untouchable. I have a lot of these. I recognize a lot of these benefits that I get socially, physically, energetically, spiritually, from the fact that I don't perpetuate and don't participate in the system of sacrifice as much as I can. Of course, I have to be in this part of the system in a way, but I mean, I do as much as I can to get out of it. And it feels good. So, how do you feel about being part of it? More than me, I guess, even though you have a more radical stance than I do, a lot of people would say.
Yeah, that framing, I don't know. I don't feel that I'm a part of it. I mean, I just like if you listen to what
Well,
David Debbie said about like might makes right, he's just like it just is. It just that's just the way things are. It's not prescriptive. It's descriptive. That's how I see it. It's
so
descriptive.
why even argue for anything then? Why try to change anything?
Well, that's if you listen to his argument, that's what it is. Might makes right. You have the ability to do it, so just do it. It is what it is.
I had a hard time trying to steelman that position, but I think this is the best version I can come up with, is that when someone makes that statement, I hope they're not making it like it is ethical because they might makes right, because then you fall into moral relativism, and I don't understand how someone would make any ethical prescriptions based on that. But I think I'm assuming it means that the system's in place, and well, we have to make changes within the system that we're stuck in. That's the best way that I can interpret that.
Right, but when I was talking about that in the context of civilization, that primitive people should not be forced to become civilized. He's just like Mike makes right. Get over it. The one with the strongest guns wins, and so if that's the case, then don't whine to me about my ethical choices because I have the might, and so I can do what I want according to him.
Right. That's why, like, on a just pure, if you take it at face value, I don't think it cashes out, and I think it's obvious because yeah, if might makes right, then vegans like us should just not say anything. Then
So the issue isn't the animals; it's the vegans themselves. They people like him who derail their whole cause. Put their foot, they put their feet in their mouth, and then they want to get mad at you for not accepting it. Like, if you're telling me that this is what veganism is about, then why would I support that shit? It's like these vegans, you got people like Vegan Gains, Vegan Equilibrium, Vegan Gains telling me to Toria Crowley myself, Vegan Equilibrium saying they want to extend human rights to animals without addressing the fact that animals have rights that humans don't have. D&W telling me that might makes right.
yeah, I think the might makes right thing was imprecise. I
I'll tell
haven't had.
you.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Fatima, I welcome you, but I'm actually not going to be here much longer because I got to get ready to go to work.
Oh, it's alright. Yeah, just came to say, like, oh my god, this stream like was so like I can't stand Guru. I just came to say that. Yeah, he's such a fucking
This channel's the support group.
yeah, dude, he's such a fucking narcissistic psychopath. Like, you can't make a point with him. And of course, I always argue about God when I'm an apatheist. I'm not supposed to care about that question, Like, I'm not supposed to care. and yet like he still insists. Like people still in that channel still insist. Like, damn, dude, like chill the fuck out. Like he's what they call a sophist, right? Right, a sophist.
Yeah.
Like you can't make a point with him because he'll just fucking like try to like break down the words into like another thing. When I'm like,
Did you see when I debated him? It didn't go like that. Oh gosh, why is DNW? Gosh, DNW is here.
wait, he's coming.
I think he was going,
Wait, he's trying to join the chat right now.
Is he?
yeah. Okay, well, let's see what he has. I can't stay on here very long, but let's see what he has.
Am I on the clown show? Is this the fucking clown show? Are you?
Yes, it is.
Bozo, the fucking clown LA. Because by the way, guys, I don't think any of you should be here because LA goes on illicit fucking minds fucking channel. He supports Efilism. He supports blowing the fucking world up.
Support Efilism. I'm
I want to say, LA, it's quite obvious what I fucking mean when I say when I say might makes right. The system is might makes right. It's obvious you are not able to defeat the system in terms of power. Therefore, you have to use the art of persuasion. You have to make arguments, and you're not able to do that because your argument doesn't in any way benefit power. It doesn't direct power in a meaningful way that they would choose to do. Power has an interest in living. You don't, and therefore, just get over it.
Get over it. Get over factory farming.
No, because we all know veganism can benefit even those in power. They can live longer, they can be healthier, they can create a sustainable environment
I don't want to live longer.
and they can
I
make
don't want to live longer.
a happy population that is healthier and benefits from cheaper food prices and, as I said, a sustainable environment that doesn't impact on their health negatively.
That's what you believe, though.
Mine makes right, LA.
So you use your.
You are a resentful.
Oh my gosh! Why do you come here to derail? We're trying to have a conversation.
Nobody should have anything to do with you. You are poison.
Okay, then.
Anybody who aligns with this man needs to get their head checked.
All right, so you just came here to troll.
No.
Well,
Man, I wish I knew. I wish I had been.
Do you support blowing the world up? Do you support people murdering people? Do you
I'm not an
support terrorism? Because that's what Illicit Minds channel does. And as far as I'm concerned, you seem to align strongly with them. Are you aligning strongly with that type of rhetoric, LA?
I have a great deal of respect for Illicit Mind. He's compassionate. He has been very hospitable every time I've gone to his channel. I can't say anything bad.
LA, you have to get your head out your ass and realize it is a might makes right world, and your job is to try and influence power.
I have more respect for Illicit Mind.
If you can't topple it, and none of your arguments take into considerations. None of your arguments take into consideration the desire of those in power, what they want,
Illicit
their
Mind
point of view.
It is what it is.
No, it's not. It's not just that, LA. You know that. You're mischaracterizing me. You're taking a very childish view on matters.
Might makes right. Get over it.
As usual. You got your head up your ass.
Literally what you said.
You can come on my channel another day if you want to talk about it, but LA, get over it, or at least provide a sensible argument that takes into consideration power's point of view on matters, because then maybe you might be able to influence them. But as of now, you're trying to compete with them, and you can't. Good night.
What the fuck was that?
At least he clarified what he meant by might makes right. It is trying to work within the system to persuade those in power. That's what
a
it
softer
means.
blow.
Right. So I'm at the bottom. So why are you trying to convince me to go vegan? He should just convince those in power to take away the food options. You're right. Absolutely right. And I'm going to actually clip that and show that to Illicit Mind, by the way. How dare you say something disparaging about Illicit Mind? You can't even come close to meeting an Illicit Mind.
I wonder why he felt the need to come on here. I don't agree with much of what LA says, but I would leave someone alone if I don't agree with them too much. Like I'm a very like let live person. Like I don't like if you're wrong, like I'll just leave you alone. You know, if I sense like the drama, you know.
He just pushes me over into that camp. The more they try to, first of all, I'm not an ethicist, but they want me to take a side. If you're going to force me to take a side, I'm going to side with the ethicist because it makes more sense than the bullshit that he's spouting. But I'm trying to stay somewhere in the middle.
I'm in opposition, but I think everybody knows that by now. But I will like stay on the panel with people I oppose.
Yeah,
but
same.
from a consequentialist standpoint, what they're proposing actually would liberate everybody. I'm not saying that I agree with it, but if I was being purely consequentialist, then that whole red button shit would actually eliminate everything. But I'm not going to advocate for it because I don't believe in, forcing my will on people.
I mean, I hope that they're.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, man. You're good.
D&W was supposed to interview me about my book. And now I know why he has never interviewed me, because he has been secretly hating me this whole time. He was siding with your dogs the whole time. He secretly did not support anything that I was doing. And he actually was enjoying all the drama when your dog was talking shit about me failing the bar exam and shit. So I did. It's basically he's been a hater. I didn't realize that until
Be careful with that inference, because just because someone is that way now doesn't therefore mean they were that way all the time. I have fought with a lot of people in these communities.
As soon as he got angry with me, it all came pouring out. So if you listen to his rant, that's exactly what he said. So he was holding back before, but the truth comes out in anger. And once he was angry, he told me exactly how he felt. So he told me to get the fuck off his channel. And then what the hell is this shit?
He wants you back.
That's what narcissists do. It's the whole push and pull.
I don't get that. Like, if he thinks you're dangerous, why would he want you back if he thinks you're dangerous? Like, if I was him, I wouldn't want to let anyone I think dangerous back, honestly. Like, I would let opposition in, but like not like people who are dangerous according to him.
I mean, the whole cycle of narcissism is like love bomb. What is it? Devalue. I'm not sure if I'm getting it right. Devalue, discard, and then Hoover. Right? So that's the whole thing. So the love bombing phase, LA was so great. Devalue, oh, he's not vegan. Discard, get the fuck off my channel. And then Hoover, oh no, I need you back. I need you to debate vegan gains.
Well, yeah, this is as old as YouTube. It's this fight between YouTubers.
Yeah. That's YouTube.
Yeah. Largely what's going on, which is fine. And also stuff will make you think, hopefully, Life Abolition. I mean, hopefully other dude as well. If you get into arguments and you're debating someone that challenges your beliefs, hopefully you at least become stronger, or you learn from it and change your path a little bit, or whatever happens, but hopefully it means something, right?
Well, Kenny said that Black people have low IQs, so why is everybody so intimidated by vegan gains that nobody can go toe-to-toe with him? And only LA can stand toe-to-toe with vegan gains. What the fuck is that about? Why is anybody else smart enough to challenge vegan gains? I can do it. I mean, the last time I debated, the first time there was an audio problem, but the second time I debated him, I fucking wiped the floor with him, and he fucking ran away. Yeah, he's not. I mean, I'm not.
He's got a certain debating style for sure. So if you can stand toe to toe with vegan gains in a debate, that's impressive. I just got to say that. I mean, I wouldn't, just because of the style that he does. He's not like Ed Winters, right?
Either that,
He
or
always
he's
he always goes to the Hitler analogy. So if Hitler were in power, would you? It's just like it's so fucking stupid.
Yeah, he was pretty radical, pretty crazy. I stopped watching him in 2020 when he was advocating for the jabs because he's so smart.
So it's either you're courageous or maybe you're just a masochist and you like to
Yeah.
put
I don't
yourself
even
through the
think
ringer.
he's that challenging. Like he'll just try to dominate you, and it's like if you want to scream, I can scream. It's not that hard.
I just don't see the benefit of, like, if there probably is. Like, I think he believes in some type of vegan eugenics. I mean, that's something I could probably have a debate on him with, but I don't. What benefit is there for me? I don't want to go through a screaming match. Yeah,
I don't mind doing it. I'm not going to do it while I'm at work because I would look like a madman screaming, in the office. But
in the
that's why I
lunchroom,
didn't
you're
want to come
screaming at
on.
your phone.
But yeah, I kind of did want to debate vegan games, but it's just there was no way I could do that yesterday.
The
I
whole
was just so
debating.
mad because nobody was making good arguments against them. I was like, what the fuck? This is so easy.
Oh yeah, and you did say, like, I've heard dude's side, Ellie, or vegan Gaines's side. I've heard this or that vegans thing. Well, you haven't heard plenty of vegans side, and we don't all just align with the tribe of vegans. I have I'm not like I said, I'm not good with people and whatever, and especially when it's like radicals of any sort of thing that just doesn't take into account other people's side of things, and I don't know. I don't know what's going on with you and other guy. I can see both your guys' sides. Like I said, I'm not a fan of your rhetoric, the way that you put this anti-natalism thing, but I do like the idea. I'm just trying to help you, and I think you'd. I don't know your personality. I don't know, how you get along, what your sign is, and how you operate and what you're capable of changing wise. Maybe you're a fixed sign, and maybe you just have a chip on your shoulder that you do like only go one side and you won't take any other information or try anything else because this one particular thing isn't being done, and I need to fight for it even though it won't happen. Just like anarchy. I don't fight for that. I don't fight for anything that isn't like, I know that this does have an effect on a person, and whether it changes the world, I know veganism is a fucking awesome thing. I'm not going to try to drill it into other people's head, but
Okay,
like,
but like I
yeah,
said, my original goal was I wanted the vegan society to change their definition of veganism, and then I switched to I'll settle for vegan games endorsing anti-natalism on his channel. That's a very small ask that you want me to go vegan and change my entire lifestyle. He was not willing to give that to me. How is that? That's not unreasonable. He could have done that and actually had people support anti-natalism because he has massive influence, but he chose not to use that influence.
Well, to be able to debate someone with over several 100,000 subscribers, just like especially when you've got 1,000 or whatever it is. I don't know how many you have. Sorry, but some accomplishment. Just not like when you become like 100,000 or more, they don't even like talk to you, man. And to get a debate is one thing, but to have them shout out your something that leads to you, they see it as, oh, well, this is money that could have been mine and it's going elsewhere. That's just what it is. And I fucking hate it, to be honest. But
no, not
that's
me.
what it is.
He doesn't have to give me a shout out. Just give a shout out to anti-natalism. Like, I think the reason he won't do it is because the money is in veganism. You can capitalize on that. You can't really capitalize on anti-natalism. He's clearly struggling for money, which is why all of his live streams are he'll do it live and then it goes to members only. He wants more memberships. going on live talking about how he is having financial problems. And so unless it's profitable, they're not going to support anti-natalism. Veganism is easy to sell. Like you can sell books, you can give speeches, you can endorse products.
You're saying it's both profitable and he's struggling.
Right.
Is it just the way he's doing it is wrong, or?
No, that's the reason why he's doing what he's doing, because he was having financial problems. So now he's only focusing on money.
Yeah, but he's been doing the vegan thing this whole time, and he's, maybe he just needs more money. Maybe he's lying about being, and struggling. But Marcus's point is that, if he's making money through veganism, he's just pushing it harder now. But how did he get into the struggle in the first place, I guess?
Right. Yeah.
Well, his channel has been demonetized at least a couple of times. He has no products. He has no merchandise. His channel is just him sitting and playing video games and eating Fruity Pebbles.
Well, then he doesn't have a stake in the game then.
I thought he had merch, like T-shirts and stuff. No,
I don't remember seeing that. If he does have them, he doesn't promote them.
I remember he was doing OnlyFans at a certain point.
Right. So he pimped his own wife out to grow his channel. She's all over the internet with her flat chest. And now they're divorced, and she didn't even get anything. I think she helped build his brand.
Oh man, I didn't know they got divorced. Shit.
And I think, well, I don't want to gossip, but I think basically she was non-binary, but now I think she's identified more with her masculine side. So I think she just wasn't attracted to men, which he was not. He didn't respect that. He's just like, I still want to have sex with you. It's just like, she's not attracted to you. She wants a woman.
Yeah, no, it's a mess, and damn, I would not want to have a mess like that publicized, dude. But fuck, dude, when you're not subscribing to the etiquette of the platform that you're using, then shit happens, and yeah, he's been deplatformed or whatever, demonetized, and he struggles. I bet he does, because he doesn't do the etiquette thing. Which it sucks, because I'm not business minded. I just want to fight for, or at least like stand for a cause, something that stands for justice. And I like the vegan debate. I think it does wonders for a person, to be able to do that, or at least strive toward it. Like you'll maybe you don't do it, but you cutting down your meat, dude, that's good, and you'll get other nutrients. Try mushrooms, man. Mushrooms are it's a huge phobia, and people don't know about mushrooms, but man, oh man, are there a lot of different mushrooms, and they all are great for you.
Right, but that's the whole thing. I'm not a carnivore, I'm an omnivore, so I can eat mushrooms and still eat other things too. Like the whole thing is that veganism is eliminating stuff out your diet. I can eat everything vegans eat, other things.
Well, yeah, and that's what I stand for. I'll always try to share the benefits and like the possibility that anyone can do it. They just have to want to do it. I'll always do that, but I'm never gonna force you to do it if you don't even want to do it. There's no point, personally. So you haven't heard my side of veganism, or maybe some other people's side. I know Mark Passio, if you guys are into the occult kind of talk or information, but
is he vegan?
Yeah, he's vegan.
And he's an anarchist. Is that correct?
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I haven't heard all that much. I know I've heard him talk about it on several occasions, but just like me, he's not a radical about it. But he'll mention it because planting a seed, right? Type of thing that is oftentimes more powerful than trying to be radical or whatever, right? Activist type. That's oftentimes hurting the movement, if anything.
Well, I appreciate it. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to go, but I definitely try to do another live stream on Thursday when I'm not, when I don't have to work. But yeah, so I appreciate it.
That was cool. I appreciate it too. Thanks, guys.
Have a good day.
See ya.